All right, welcome back to another episode of LearnBiz The Podcast with your favorite hosts. I am Sandy B, and I have with me Lisa K. Crawford. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, hey everyone. Hey, Sandy B. Happy Friday.
Man, it is Friday the 13th, and I don't even understand how I got to this point and why I'm listening to backdrop noise, but it is Friday the 13th, and I didn't really expect us to be going live on this day because we always assume there's going to be something bad that's going to happen. But it's been a great day.
Right.
Knock on wood.
And it's gonna stay like that because we're already we're cleaning it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So here at LearnBiz the Podcast, we are the home of the Black entrepreneur. And today we have an absolutely phenomenal guest for you. You're going to learn something very new because, as you know, we've been really bringing some different people to the table in various industries. Last week we had Chef Kiara Kitchen Killer Hardy. I mean, she gave us some insight into the personal and private chef industry. I mean, she worked for NBA athletes. I mean, she's done a lot of things. And coming up, we have Suzette Speaks, who is a TV host and also a YouTuber with an amazing channel. I mean, she talks about so many different issues of personal and professional development. And we also have the Mistress of Ceremonies, Crystal Chanel, coming up soon. And last but not least, Lisa, you have somebody special coming. Who is this person?
Yes, we're going to have Kristen Kitchen on. She is a Black hotel owner. She owns the Dunn's Josephine Hotel in historic Overtown, Miami, Florida. So I can't wait to have her on in the very near future.
So if you've been enjoying what we have going on here at LearnBiz the Podcast, please be sure to subscribe to our channel. And if you missed the Entrepreneur Mindset Summit that we hosted on Tuesday, you missed a lineup. Really? We had an attorney talking about business formation. We had an attorney talking about trademark and copyright. We talked social media, branding. We even had an accounting and bookkeeping professional, a CPA. And we topped it off with your favorite Dr. Tasha talking health and wellness. So if you haven't caught that, we've posted a few of the YouTube videos, and you'll be able to kind of check out some of the clips from the Entrepreneur Mindset Summit. Yes. But also the full video is up. It's only 2 hours. Block off a little bit of time because this is a great tool for any entrepreneur either just starting out or trying to fine tune and grow and scale their business. Right. So this is a really phenomenal time for you to join us. So again, click the subscribe button. Please go back and check out some of our content. We have tons of videos. We've interviewed people from so many different industries. And if you're an entrepreneur trying to get in, trust me, you don't want to miss some of the content we have. Lisa, last thoughts before I introduce our guest today.
Well, Sandy, I'll just say you said it all, so let's go.
So today we have the amazing NFL veteran, real estate investor, Johnathan Cyprien, and we're bringing him up to our stream. Hi, Johnathan.
Hey, Lisa, how you guys doing?
Great. How are you today?
I'm doing well.
We're so glad you're here with us to talk about your career. And we want to know some about your NFL career. And I know Sandy's going to kick us off, so we can't wait.
So Lisa typically does this, who are you? But I'm just going to ask you, give us a little bit of backstory. Who is Johnathan Cyprien? And then we'll start talking about what you're currently doing.
Okay. My name is Johnathan Cyprien. I'm born and raised in Miami, Florida. I'm from Haitian descent. Myself and my family members are first generation Americans from my mother and father. I attended North Miami Beach Senior High School in Miami, and then I went to college at FIU, Florida International University. There I earned a hospitality degree. And from there, I was actually drafted to play in the National Football League. I played in the NFL for 8 consecutive years. Right now, I'm technically still a free agent, and I'm in doing some ventures right now as far as business-wise. And glad to be here to speak about it a little bit.
Absolutely. We love that. And, it's amazing to have a South Florida born and raised, going into the NFL, coming back into the community and trying to do some different things. Really a great thing. So tell us a little bit about where you are now, because you're technically a free agent, but you have not stopped working. You have some projects underway right now. So what are you doing currently?
Well, currently, I have 3 different projects going on. One is with my foundation. It's called Sip Squad At-Risk Youth Foundation. I started it back in 2015, and that's ongoing. This year, we have our yearly event, fundraising event. It's going to be on July 8th, and I'm planning that as we speak. But I also have Inside the Cage, where I have the shirt and the logo I have on at the moment. This is a new venture that I've done, that I've created recently this year. We just launched in March. It's a collective where it speaks to our student athletes. It speaks to the new law that the NCAA just passed, where now student athletes can get paid for their name, image, and likeness. And so what I've done is created a collective that is going to cater to our FIU student athletes, which happens to be the school that I graduated from, my alumni university. And on top of that, the best for last is real estate. I've been investing in real estate throughout my career in the NFL. And just this, not even a year now, but late of 2021, I acquired my sales associate license. So now I can buy and sell for not only myself, but for others.
See, now, Lisa, I already know
Wow.
that the wheels are turning. You have questions.
Yes. I'm so proud of your career path. It's almost as if everything you've touched has been just a great path. I mean, on top with everything. And during the pandemic, did you shift in any of your business interests? Did that happen during the pandemic for you? Or what, if anything, did the pandemic cause in terms of your business shift?
Well, I would say one, it kind of just gave me the time to kind of do what I kind of set to do already, which I think the pandemic did for so many. So I've always told myself, being an investor in real estate, I should get my license and be able to save a bit on my purchases, which would make my cash flow a little bit more. But I never got to it, right? I'm playing football. A lot of things are going on. But when the pandemic slowed things down, I found myself at home with a lot of time on my hands. A lot of people doing workout videos, doing a lot of challenges, if you guys remember. And I finally had the time to tell myself, okay, this is the time. So I went on the computer and I signed up for classes, and I did the pretty much accelerated course. So 1 week program where I went to school and learned everything I needed to know to take the test to become a realtor in Florida. And a week's time, I passed the class, and I think I waited a little bit too long, actually a month after me passing the class to take the test to become a realtor here in Florida. I passed that, and that is kind of definitely the big thing I would say kind of transpired during the real pandemic time.
And that is so beautiful, because a lot of people, Sandy and I talk about this all the time. A lot of people made shifts, and then you heard that word pivots during the pandemic. So that is awesome that you took advantage of that time to make the shift in your business. And what's so hip about you, the fact that you have the affiliation with the NFL, man, we know who your client's going to be. Like, this is like really, really cool. How awesome.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. And, like I told you, when I wanted my real estate license, I really didn't put that 2 and 2 together, how I can use, I guess, my relationships to actually turn those people into clients. That kind of wasn't in my head. It was definitely just, all right, myself, and how can I save on making these investments? But pandemic, like you said, and you have more time on your hands. And honestly, I started to think, how can I give to people? So I started telling myself, all right, with these relationships that I've formed over the years,
Right.
How about I educate people on how I did it, right? So I've seen now that I've become somewhat of an example to some people for me to be able to be in a real estate world and still be able to do well in playing football. So that's definitely been something I think is not common. So
Right.
I definitely just want to spread that wealth and knowledge of what I can on what I did to be able to encourage those people, and then and all the while I'm able to execute those deals as far as their investments or even homes that friends of mine would want in the future.
Yeah, I have one more point to make with regard to that. You know, the beautiful thing is that we all have a sphere of influence, correct? And we have to maximize our own sphere. And you have a great sphere of influence, obviously, with all that you do, touching upon, you know, students,
Yeah.
and them coming into the athletic professions, the athletes that you know, those who are still active, those who are retired. I mean, that's the beautiful thing. And I became a broker associate recently, and I encourage people of color to get into real estate. I mean, we should have one on every corner, just like Walgreens and McDonald's, as far as I'm concerned, because we all have a sphere of influence. And real estate is one of the fastest ways, and I don't have to tell you, Johnathan, one of the fastest ways to grow and acquire wealth.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's something that you can. I took a class a week long and was able to study for a test, and this is definitely a way where you can earn some sort of income. It's definitely different when you're doing part time and when you're doing it full time. When you're
Yes,
able to really commit to it, but it's definitely beneficial, and I encourage anyone just like you to do the same.
absolutely. Thank you so much.
And we have a comment from one of our favorite supporters, Rigo. Great show and love the information and can't wait to see what he is doing next. Absolutely, Rigo. So, going to what you are doing next, I'm very interested in this NIL world, right? Name, image, likeness. What kind of triggered you to say, you know what, I need to get into this piece? And why connect back with your college, you know, because some people will be like, I'm over here, I'm going to do it with some other people, but you decided to go back and give back to your university. What triggered that for you?
Well, last year I was invited to join the athletic advisory board at FIU, and I'm the first former athlete to be a part of this board. So it was very interesting to me. I was very honored to be a part of it, for me to actually be on the field, and now me be in the meeting rooms that make the decisions that have so much to do with the athletes that play on the field or courts.
Right.
So I definitely was honored to be in that space. Myself, just being a passionate person and loyal, I think, as far as some of my characteristics, my high school or my college, I will forever have an affinity to them because those are two things that don't change, right? I'll
Right.
always have that degree from that school, that the relationships we built, and just the time, just being here back home. So at that meeting, a couple different things came up, but NIL was one of them. And one thing at that meeting we understood was NIL, which stands for name, image, and likeness. For people who don't know, is somewhere where student athletes now can benefit and profit off their own name, right? Whether they have a YouTube channel and they get 1 million views, they can get paid off of it. Before, back in starting in July 2021 is when the NCAA passed a new regulations that say it's allowed to make money off your name, image, and likeness. That was not permitted. And a lot of people know that it's been controversial for years, but for that to change, it's a big shift in how college sports is going to go forward. And to myself, when I think of it, and when we sat down in that meeting, it's a need, it's not a want. I truly think that this aspect of college sports is going to be pivotal for any student leaving high school and choosing the university to go to. And I think the ones that don't go into the NIL space, and making sure that they do encourage their student athletes at their school to be able to make some sort of money in their pocket while they're in school and playing. I think that the other ones will die out. To be perfectly honest with you, and having an affinity with the university. Not only I want us to survive in college sports, but I want us to excel in it. And for our university, I've had great years there. We had winning seasons. We went to the first bowl game, and I seen just a glimpse of how well FIU can be as a program. And I think that this would kind of definitely give us the push that we need to get over that ladder, to be kind of big and be a championship organization like many others around the country.
Wow. That's really awesome. I have a quick question right there. Johnathan, why do you think it took so long for the NCAA to address this issue? I know it's been a big issue, like you said, for a long time. And I don't know that there are lobbyists on behalf of athletes there. So why did it take so long? And what was the thing that kind of got it over finally?
You know what? I think they just didn't want it to be, they didn't want college sports to be nothing like the NFL. They did not want, for you to be still a student athlete, still earning your degree, under scholarship, and you're getting paid for your performance. That's, in a nutshell, what it was. But I think it changed when, just lights have been shined on different situations. Let's just go to the college football NCAA video game, right? A major lawsuit was passed where now these college players who their name, their image, and their likeness were being used for a video game and sold all around the country. And guess what? Those players in the video games weren't seeing a dime from it. And myself being a college athlete and then moving into the NFL, every NFL player in that game called Madden, you get paid. You are paid to be in that game. So, what is the difference when you have a college player in a video game and you have an NFL player in a video game? Why is one getting paid and one isn't? So things like that came up, and a lot of beating down on doors. Things definitely opened up now.
I'm so happy about it. This is a good day as far as NIL and players being able to benefit on all levels.
Absolutely. So I want to touch on your nonprofit, because I do notice a lot of athletes choose something that is close to them to focus on as their funding foundation type arm. What prompted you to create your nonprofit, and why is it important to you?
I created my nonprofit because I wanted to give back. I think the circle of life for us is definitely to see examples, to be inspired by things that you see with your eyes, whether they're people or things, and for you to be able to to get to that point and then do the same so you can inspire the ones behind you. Right. So when I got into a position where I feel I can give back, the number one place I thought was, how about I give back to the kids that were just like me and my friends growing up. That's kind of what I thought and what I wanted to give back in doing. So since 2015, I started the Sip Squad At-Risk Youth Foundation. And from then, it's definitely evolved. But it definitely started with helping young people and providing exposure and mentorship and experiences, just so that you can give young people an eye to see things that they may not be seeing in their communities, that can make them kind of reach for a different kind of goal that maybe they didn't know existed before. Right. So what we do now is we do provide summer camps, right? We provide scholarships for those who want to do different activities, whether it's sports related, whether it's educational related. We want to have young people and bring them into college environments, come over to FIU, sit in on the classroom, even things as tours of Miami, right? I know growing up, North Miami Beach is pretty much all I knew for a long time, right? But I never was able to see the South Beach maybe, or even go to maybe Fort Lauderdale and Las Olas, or just to see you can go through Overtown and just to see the real makings of the surrounding area of where you're from, to just know where the street addresses are. As you know, we all use Google Maps now. You can't even get somewhere now without turning on the maps when you get into the car. But
it's true.
Right.
yeah, so just opening that experience for young people. And as we evolve, we also go into more of the educational aspect. So we're definitely pushing financial literacy and just life skills that that I think as a young person it's good to be exposed to it early. Maybe they might not catch on the first time, maybe not the second time, but as it's harped upon and they understand the importance of it, just as growing up and you're taught to look left, right before you cross the street. Hopefully, these life skills, those financial literacy skills that we're able to teach young people through my foundation, that actually has a connection to what I'm doing with Inside the Cage and the educational part, that we can be able to spread that. So that's kind of what the foundation is about. You can find out about it on sipsquad.com is what our website is.
Okay,
that's great. And that caters to what are the ages of the youth that it caters to, and is it male and female?
Absolutely, male and female. Goes 6 over to 21, 22 years old.
Nice. That's a great plan.
Yeah, definitely young people. We want to get them from a young age, be able to mentor them, and just provide different experiences so that they can shoot for more.
Wow. Do you need volunteers for your organization? If you are, I mean, now's a good time to put that out there. And I would definitely love to be a part of helping with some of the mentorship. These are great opportunities for all of us to help.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You can definitely go online at sipsquad.com, which is our website. And there's definitely a tab there where you can contact us and the email will get to us and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Perfect.
Same thing with Inside the Cage. If you go to insidethecage.com, you'll be able to go there. And we're definitely looking for support within our community. Anyone who feels like they can contribute to these young athletes. Because, speaking of Inside the Cage, it's a lot more than just, financially compensating our student athletes in return for their name, their image, and their likeness or their brand. What we're doing there, by being an athlete and signing to our collective, we automatically create an LLC for you. We automatically, we have in our contract that we have a few different life skills and financial literacy classes that you're obligated to sit in on. And most importantly, we connect relationships. We create relationships between athletes and companies, right? So, because at the end of the day, as a college athlete, over 98% of these players don't play professionally, right? But they will be professionals in one space or another. So we're hoping that the relationships that we can make with the businesses out there and our athletes can go beyond just a transaction of funds and marketing, but really be a placement and relationship for the future collaboration of maybe job placement. So the long game is definitely helping. The three things that I told you guys, and I got to sit back and notice this after a while, was that the three things that I told you from my foundation, Inside the Cage, and real estate, they're all acts of service and helping people.
Yes.
And we're helping our student athletes in way more than just putting money in their pocket. I'm helping all people, but my network of friends and athletes who worldwide have a name of being broke after playing sports. That's what it is, right?
You hear too many stories like that. It's so sad, right?
So many. So I'm able to try to give not only an example, but teaching those individuals, young or old, different ways to generate income through real estate, which can make people, which can make that idea of, you know, athletes not being well with their money no longer existing. And
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
And
So
giving your money to someone else to manage, and you don't know the first thing about checks and balances to know if you're being ripped off. You don't know the first thing to do to know if you're being ripped off or not. That's a problem.
Absolutely, absolutely.
shout out to Suzette Speaks, who is in the building. We will have Suzette Speaks
Who's
on
that?
next week. Amazing YouTuber, phenomenal
Yes,
content.
she is.
Suzette says, shout out to Sandy B. Law and Lisa and to the chat. And she says, hit the like button, y'all. Come on. Show
Thank
some
you.
support.
Thank you.
Click subscribe. Now, Rigo says, this is a great concept. What about a trade school training program for the youth in case sports is not what they like or after playing sports? That's
Oh,
interesting.
I like that.
Do you know if there are any
that.
types of programs like that, Johnathan, for the youth in terms of helping them, you know, even if they go into college sports, you know, that's one avenue, but what if they don't make it to college sports? You know, if there's any programs to help them kind of shift gears?
Well, at FIU, they have career services, and you know, there, and they also have the Student Athletic Academic Center. So those two places is where the university provides them access to be able to have job placement. But I think, you know, with Inside the Cage, we're just going to be an extension of that. I definitely believe with businesses who decide to do NIL, name, image, and likeness deals, sponsorship deals with our athletes, that is going to be the quickest way for you to actually get hands-on experience with an athlete that is motivated, knows how to work with a team, knows how to be on time, knows how to follow a schedule. So many great characteristics of you get in an athlete that you can use in any field of work, right? So I think it's a huge value when it comes to representing these athletes inside the cage and being able to look for their long-term gain is very important to me. So that's the job placement, and through the educational courses that we have implemented throughout the year of being a part of Inside the Cage, will give them the knowledge to kind of figure out, all right, where is my space, and if this sport doesn't work out, where would I fit in? And I think it's very valuable. I think it's truly valuable to different companies. And just one thing I've always heard was when you leave sports, just treat it as if treat your new job as you did sports. And I would always kind of let that go through 1 year and out the other. I'm like, you know, you'll never get the kind of passion, you know, you get from scoring a touchdown or grabbing an interception or making a big hit, maybe, you know?
Right.
But as I kind of step more into this business role, I definitely see where, you know, things that I've done when it comes to football is definitely translating over where, you know, you just maybe just on top of things, or the work ethic, knowing that, you know, being prepared for things is the measure of how successful you are when you actually are doing the actual event, right? So
That's true. That's true. And good sportsmanship is very valuable, like you said, in any arena, not just the sports arena, but in the business arena as well. So I think you're absolutely right. It does translate. I don't know if you answered this. I may have missed it, but how did the name, is it called In the Cage? How did that come about?
Inside the Cage. Do you like
Inside
it?
the Cage? Yes, I do. I do like it. I keep thinking about like some gorilla janking on a cage or something, trying to get out. So I'm trying to. You got to help me so I can make sure I have the right perspective.
So when I played at FIU, we have our stadium on campus, which is amazing. And whenever we played our games, we called our stadium the Cage.
I love that.
So when you step inside the cage, when you step inside the cage, you're about to get after it. So that's kind of where we got it. I know, you know, Inside the Cage, we want all sports, male, female, from golf to football. But in this space of NIL, football is really, you know, the driving sport that pushes all universities, so it gets pushed towards football for sure. But I thought Inside the Cage was a great name for me to kind of,
Yes.
first, and it has meaning behind it, and that's where it started from. Me being alumni of the university, I think it fit pretty well.
It does. It makes people like me ask questions of you, like, what does that mean? A conversation starter.
Here's the beauty of this situation. So guys, those of you that are watching, we appreciate your comments and your questions. Please click the like button. Please subscribe to our channel, because this is the type of content we want to bring you. So Johnathan, you are a serial entrepreneur. You are still a free agent in the NFL, so that business can still exist. You are a real estate investor. You own your own real estate, so you have, a portfolio of sorts there. You have Inside the Cage, where you're dealing with the name, image, and likeness deals. You have your SIP Squad At-Risk Youth Foundation. Is there something else that we need to add to this plan?
Are we missing anything here?
Oh, you know what? I'm going to tackle everything that we had, that you just listed before I move on. And things will come to fold. Who knows what God has for me in the future, but I definitely like to keep myself busy, I'd say, with things that I'm passionate about. At this point in my life, I can definitely do what I want to do and not what I have to do. And I think by doing that and actually helping people is definitely going to just grow from here. And I'm excited for the future. And anything new, you guys would be the first to know.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sandy and I always like entrepreneurs to give like tidbits or gemstones of advice to budding entrepreneurs, or those who might be looking now and saying, I want to follow in Johnathan's shoes, and I just need, some words of wisdom to help me get on my way. What would you say to a young entrepreneur at this point in their life, just starting out?
Oh, you know what? I'd say the first thing I'd say is hopefully have a mentor, somebody that you can actually confide in as far as your ideas, or maybe just the process on where you're at. Another thing I'd say is, when it comes to entrepreneurship, it's a scary slope, right? It's a lot of I think a lot of things, anything there's risk, right? But all risk can be calculated on depending on how you go about it, right? So having a plan is definitely important, but to also kind of, there's a lot of words that says, okay, this is what I want to do, but how do I do it? And I think that our word stops a lot of people from moving forward. So I think if you make that plan and you just try to go to that next step rather than thinking, how am I going to do it? By the time you know it, you'll be in the mix of it, you'll be in the weeds of it. And by relying on maybe mentors or people in that area where you wish to be one day, reaching out to them and hopefully them, reaching their arms back out and just filling you with the knowledge that you're looking for, is where you can kind of start and continue to grow.
The value of mentorship. It is never going to get old, is it?
Absolutely. I wish I knew that earlier. That's one thing I wish I knew that earlier, in all things, in sports or definitely in business.
Absolutely.
So, in thinking about your process, because you have a lot of different things on your plate, and I'm sure you've been through a lot of different experiences, but what were some of the challenges that you went through as you were transitioning from spending your time mostly in the NFL to now really having your hands as an entrepreneur?
I think a schedule was definitely putting things together. Learning to actually use your calendar on your phone, or definitely writing things down. When there's something that comes up, to write it down, because, and like I think for a lot of people, if you have things on your plate and you just think to get to them, now you're laying down in bed and now, oh, I forgot to do this, or, oh, I forgot to do that, Right. So write it down to get it out of your head, right? So you can be able to have a restful sleep instead of waking up at night maybe, or tossing and turning, because, those things stick in the back of your mind until they're done, at least for me. I definitely feel like when I have that to-do list, it definitely will get on my nerves a bit if it's pending. So I think that's definitely something that you want to
Hey, Johnathan, without that to-do list, I have nightmares.
do.
I really do.
So, Johnathan, what keeps you motivated? Because, you know, you're a young guy. There are a lot of distractions out here for young people, period. You're in the age of social media. There's a lot of temptation, you know, with, you know, trying to spend money and do certain types of things. What keeps you motivated and centered? Like, how do you get up every day and just kind of go through the motions and not get distracted?
Great question.
Yeah. Well, you know, you're absolutely right. There's a lot of things, you know, that you want to do. I mean, I live in Miami and the water is always sunny, right? And I got to be honest with you. It's hard sometimes me being home and I'm on a computer or in interviews from home and I see the sun shining and then the sun sets and it's nighttime and I'm still working sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
But it's kind of how I think about it. Honestly, is these things aren't going anywhere. Like, right, the ocean will still be there tomorrow. If God allows it to be, and you know, but what I have in front of me, you know, the people that are counting on me, and the motivation that I have to be successful in something that I started, kind of outweighs it. So I definitely feel for myself, it motivates me to say, okay, what's next for something? It's always a new challenge with real estate, right? There's always maybe a new client or a new property, and that it just, you know, puts a fire inside of me and lights a light bulb inside my heart because I just love that. And then there's, you know, all right, we're inside the cage, right? Well, what companies can we have to join us in sponsorships that we can be able to empower the oncoming new athletes to the university and the ones that are right now, right? Because at the end of the day, when I think about my university being a championship team, a championship organization, I think about the players, right? And I want to think about what is their experience going to be in Miami at our school, and how do we get those players to come into our university to revolutionize the university. I go back to University of Florida, when in the 1980s is when they really got their first championship.
Right.
And University of Miami, which is a closer and more relatable university, just because they're so close to us. And you know, it wasn't until the late 90s where I believe they got their first championship, because it was because of those players like Michael Irvins or the Clinton Porters, the Willis McGahee. Those players are the ones who turned a small private school, University of Miami, into a university known around the nation.
Right.
So that's kind of what pulls me over. The dream that I have, the goal that I have of what it could be, is definitely what's pushing me to continue to do what I do.
And how old are you, young man?
I'm 31.
You're a wise 31, aren't you?
Oh man, we've gone way over. We normally just wrap up like 20-30 minutes. We done dived all into your life, and oh man, so much wealth. So Lisa, any closing questions before we close out?
Well, I would just like to hear his final comments, just in terms of Black entrepreneurs. That's what we're about. I mean, we promote Black entrepreneurship here. It's something that we feel strong enough about that it should be promoted. And what I realize is that in this country for so long, people have not seen the economic value in diversity. And it's people like yourself who get it, and people like Sandy and I and so many others that are, we have to continue to push that out there, that there is money in diversity. And we want all cultures to understand that it's very good to do business with us. What are some of your thoughts on that issue?
Absolutely. It's I mean, it's a great thing to do business with us. And my thing is to actually take that step. Going back to what I said earlier, is how, a lot of people can think about, well, how am I going to do this? But to really just take that first step in the process of, even if it's an idea, maybe it's creating an LLC, or just speaking to somebody about it, right? Or speaking to the right person about it. I definitely say it's going to start. It's something that is on the brink of happening and being something normalized in our country, I believe. But it is going to happen the more and more young Black men and women, or young Black men, young Black kids are able to see the right example on our televisions or in person.
Right.
For myself, that's definitely kind of how I find my motivation, is to actually see and kind of duplicate or make it better in my own way. And that's kind of how I've always done it. So right now, what I want to do is try to be that example that I seen once before as a kid, right? So I can be able to be that for others. And I hope that we all do that. And all of us collectively kind of have that same mentality to be able to do these things, not only for ourselves, but for others who will in turn follow behind us. I think that will happen exactly.
Sandy, drop the mic, honey.
Look, all I can tell folks is we brought you another one, LearnBiz The Podcast. Please remember this name, Johnathan Cyprien, NFL veteran. I mean, he's a free agent, so we never know. We might see him again on the field, but we definitely are seeing him here in the realm of entrepreneurship. So salute to you, Johnathan. You are a young, aspiring, mogul. You have a lot of things under your belt, and we know that you're going to do and continue to do great things. But thank you for blessing us with an opportunity here on LearnBiz The Podcast to hear your entrepreneur story.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So stay backstage for us just a moment. We're going to close out. Thank you so much, Johnathan Cyprien, guys. NFL veteran, real estate investor. We hope to have him back to share some updates. And please be sure to check him out on Instagram at CYP or SIP. You can also check out his page, Inside the Cage, on Instagram. And if you want more information on what Johnathan has going on, you can go to InsideTheCage.com, and you can also go to SipSquad.com. But again, Cyprien, NFL veteran and real estate investor, thank you so much. Give me just one moment. So guys, again, we continue to bring you amazing stories of entrepreneurship in the Black community as we are LearnBiz The Podcast, the home of the Black entrepreneur. Lisa, any last thoughts before we close this broadcast?
I want to thank all of our contributors, the folks who are hanging out with us and watching and making comments. We absolutely adore you and appreciate your support, and would love if you would help a friend subscribe to our show today. We're going to keep bringing great content, but we absolutely cannot do it without you. So thank you so much.
So Rigo had a question. I'm going to get your question to Johnathan. Rigo, I have a question. Since you're a free agent, do you have a team you want to go to? We'll talk to Johnathan on the side about that. And we got Suzette Speaks. Great show, lady Suzette. We got another great show coming because you're coming on here. So thank you so much,
Can't
Suzette.
wait.
Truly appreciate you. So guys, we're tuning out. LearnBiz The Podcast. Please, please, please click the subscribe button. We are almost, I don't know if we're at 100 subscribers right now, but we are almost at 100 subscribers. And I know that it's only up from here. So it just tells me we've been doing some great work. Lisa and I are really, really excited about the other opportunities that we have to share more with you. We did a mini version of what we really want to do with the Entrepreneur Mindset Summit. So check out that video. We'll put it in the description. But we have a major summit that we're going to be putting together. So stay tuned for that. But check out the replay and you'll get a taste of what we have to come.
It was great. It was absolutely, I was so inspired. I mean, you guys definitely share that with your young people, the ones who are thinking about going into business. They will get so much education from just watching the Entrepreneur Mindset replay. That seminar was awesome.
All right, guys, have a great Friday. It's Friday the 13th, but don't let that deter you that we don't do that foolishness of the 13th.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. But have a great day, guys.
Absolutely.